Have you ever paused even for a moment to wonder if the incredible convenience we enjoy today is exactly what ancient prophecies were warning us about? In a world where everything is just a tap away, where our lives are seamlessly connected through invisible networks, it's easy to forget that every leap forward comes with questions. Questions that echo through history and faith. The mark of the beast, once a distant, almost mythical idea whispered about in hushed tones, now feels eerily close, not as a fantasy, but as a possibility woven into the fabric of our daily lives. What was once the stuff of legend is now a topic of serious debate, as technology blurs the line between science fiction and reality. We live in a world where buying, selling, and even our very identities have become digital. From contactless payments to facial recognition, our most personal information is stored, shared, and analyzed in ways we could never have imagined just a generation ago. Our wallets, our faces, our fingerprints, these are the new keys to the kingdom of commerce and connection. The Bible's book of Revelation describes a time when no one can buy or sell without a certain mark. For centuries, people have speculated about what this mark could be. Is it a physical symbol, a number, or something more subtle, an invisible system that quietly shapes our choices and controls our access to the world? But what if the mark isn't a crude tattoo or a visible brand, but a sophisticated system we willingly accept in exchange for safety, convenience, and belonging? What if it's the very infrastructure we depend on, biometrics, chips, digital IDs, that makes life easier but also binds us to rules we didn't write? Every trade-off, privacy for convenience, freedom for security, brings us a step closer to a world where our digital identity is all that matters. Each time we choose the easy path, we give up a little more control, trusting that the system will always have our best interests at heart. But what happens when the system's interests no longer align with our own? The real question is this: at what point does the system designed to serve us begin to own us? When does the convenience we crave become the chain that binds us, making us dependent on forces we can't see and rules we can't change? Are we trading our autonomy for comfort, our freedom for a sense of belonging? As we move into a more connected, more digital future, we must have the courage to ask ourselves, where does our ultimate loyalty lie? Is it with the technology that makes life easier, or with the values and beliefs that define who we are? The answers may not be simple, but the questions are more important now than ever before. Revelation 13 paints a chilling picture, a vision that has echoed through centuries, stirring both fear and fascination. It describes a time when a global power rises, demanding unwavering allegiance from every person on Earth. This isn't just a story from ancient texts, it's a prophecy that feels eerily relevant as we look at our world today. This power, according to the prophecy, will control who can buy or sell, who can participate in daily life. Imagine a world where every transaction, every purchase is monitored and approved by a central authority. The ability to buy food, pay rent, or travel could be granted or denied with the flick of a switch. For centuries, such control seemed impossible. Markets thrived on anonymity and trust. People exchanged coins, bartered goods, and lived in communities where transactions were personal and private. The idea that a single entity could oversee every exchange was unthinkable. But today, with the rise of digital currencies, electronic transactions, and online banking, our ability to participate in the economy is already tied to vast digital networks. Every swipe, tap, or click leaves a trace, and our financial lives are increasingly managed by algorithms and remote servers. With just a few keystrokes, your assets can be frozen, your accounts locked, or your access to essential services denied. The power to include or exclude someone from the system is no longer theoretical, it's a reality for millions around the world. The mark, whether on the hand or forehead, symbolizes more than just technology. It represents total surrender. Your actions, your identity, and your very self aligned with the demands of the system. It's a sign of belonging but also of submission. This isn't just about new gadgets or digital money. It's about absolute conformity, about everyone thinking, acting, and living in lockstep. Individuality fades, and the pressure to fit in becomes overwhelming. In such a world, dissent becomes not just difficult, but dangerous. Survival itself depends on compliance. Those who question, resist, or refuse to conform risk being cast out, cut off from society, resources, and even basic rights. Central bank digital currencies and social credit systems are no longer science fiction. They are the building blocks for this new world, where every action is tracked, scored, and judged. the warning of the prophecy is no longer distant or abstract. It's at our doorstep, woven into the headlines and technologies of our daily lives. The question is, are we paying attention? Are we prepared to make choices that will define our future? The choice is coming. Fit in or be cast out. Will we follow the crowd, or will we have the courage to stand apart? The decision is ours, and the time to choose is now. Decades ago, Archbishop Fulton J. Sheen warned that evil would come disguised as compassion and progress. He foresaw a counter-church, a system that empties faith of its substance, replacing it with a hollow unity that serves a worldly agenda. The enemy would not be a tyrant, but a humanitarian who redefines good, demanding loyalty to man and science over God. The new religion would demand inclusion at the cost of conscience. Today's calls for global solidarity and inclusivity echo Sheen's warning. Who defines what is good? When inclusion means surrendering your beliefs, it's not compassion, it's coercion. The system offers comfort and belonging, but asks for your total allegiance in return. Sheen's warning: don't trade your soul for temporary peace. Throughout history, societies have grappled with the urge to categorize, label, and control their populations. What begins as a method of organization or security can quickly become a tool of oppression. The danger of branding people, of reducing individuals to a set of labels or numbers, has echoed through the ages, leaving scars that are still visible today. In the 20th century, this urge took on chilling forms. Marks like yellow stars, colored triangles, and other symbols were sewn onto clothing, instantly dividing society into categories of us and them. These visible signs dictated who was allowed to belong, who was excluded, and who was targeted. They were not just symbols, they were sentences, often marking people for discrimination, violence, or worse. These marks stripped away individuality, reducing complex human beings to a single imposed identity. They made it easier for authorities to single out, isolate, and persecute entire groups. The act of labeling became the first link in a chain of dehumanization, paving the way for atrocities that shocked the world. Today the marks have changed, but the principle remains. Now, they are digital, encoded in social credit scores, health passports, and centralized digital identities. These new systems are often presented as innovations for public safety, health, or convenience, but they carry the same potential for division and control. Surveillance cameras track our every move, facial recognition gates decide where we can go, and algorithms judge our behavior. These systems promise efficiency and security, but they operate on a familiar logic, rewarding those who conform, punishing those who dissent or deviate from the norm. The real danger is subtle. We are tempted to accept these systems willingly, seduced by the promise of convenience, speed, and access. We trade privacy for ease, not always realizing the cost. Each scan, each check, each digital approval is another step toward a world where our identities are defined and restricted by systems beyond our control. History warns us, systems of total control, no matter how benevolent they seem at first, rarely remain so. The power to label and monitor can quickly become the power to exclude, silence, or oppress. What starts as a safeguard can become a shackle. These systems, once established, are difficult to dismantle. They become tools of power, chains that bind rather than protect. The drive to label, track, and control is not new. It is an old ghost, haunting us in new forms, reborn in the language of technology, data, and digital oversight. The tools have changed, but the underlying impulse remains the same. The question we must ask ourselves is urgent. Will we recognize the pattern before it's too late? Will we learn from the past, or will we allow new chains to be forged in the name of progress? The real struggle isn't on a grand stage, it's in our daily choices. Do we speak truth when it's unpopular? Do we hold to our convictions when culture calls them outdated? The pressure to stay silent is immense. The fear of being labeled can paralyze us. 1,000 small surrenders lead to the loss of the war for our souls. Each choice, at work, at school, in conversation, is a vote for the world we want. Silence creates a vacuum, letting lies define reality. The quiet battle in our hearts must be won every day. We need courage to live our faith openly and speak truth with love. The mark is more than technology. It's a spiritual choice, a declaration of allegiance. To take the mark is to embrace the system's values and reject God's. Revelation contrasts two groups, those marked by the beast and those sealed by God. The final conflict is about worship, who you trust, who you serve. The solution isn't hoarding resources but sealing your heart for God now. Decide today where your loyalty lies, in your job, your status, your digital ID, or in being a child of God. The battle for your mind and actions is happening now. It's a choice between two names, two loyalties, two destinies. Where will you stand? Fulton Sheen foresaw a time when truth itself would be under attack. The greatest sin would be certainty. Claiming divine truth would be seen as arrogance. The world would demand unity, not on truth but on rejecting it. Christians would be pressured to water down their faith, to accept a Christ of the masses who demands nothing. Those who refuse would be labeled troublemakers, obstacles to peace. In this age, objective truth is replaced by feelings, biblical morality dismissed as prejudice. The battle is to hold on to truth when the world insists it doesn't exist. The cost to be counted among the fools for Christ, the greatest wisdom of all. The shadows of the coming system are growing clearer. Central bank digital currencies are programmable, allowing authorities to control every transaction. Surveillance is everywhere. Our data is used to predict and influence us. Social credit systems reward obedience, punish dissent. Censorship of scripture and biblical views is increasing, silencing the ultimate source of truth. These trends aren't isolated, they're converging, forming the system Revelation warned about. The technology is ready, the ideology is spreading. Individual freedom and faith are being pushed aside for centralized control. The call is not to fear but to awaken. In the face of these signs, despair is a temptation, but our faith was made for trials. This is a time for preparation, not panic. Pray for wisdom, strength, and love. Prayer is our lifeline. Teach your families. Faith must be intentional in a hostile culture. Build your home into a sanctuary of truth. Resist lies, not with anger but with truth, gentleness, and courage. Support truthful media. Speak up in your community. Refuse to follow the crowd. Our hope is not in surviving the system, but in the victory of the Lamb. The story ends with triumph for those who stand firm. The time to rise, warn, and awaken is now.